Carter Hart continued being cross-examined by the Crown. This is part 2 of my day 28 recap of the 2018 Team Canada SA trial. Make sure you follow because I'll be covering everything as the trial begins to wrap up over the next couple weeks, and everything discussed in this video is still all alleged at this time. He then said that he received the text from McLeod while he was walking back to the hotel. He also agreed with the Crown that he showed up to the room with Robert Thomas and Alex Fermenton. The Crown then suggests that this was, quote, an unusual situation, that they were all together and they were walking back to the hotel and they, quote, must have talked about it. Hart said he didn't remember that. The Crown attorney then said, quote, you were putting a lot of faith in your friend Mr. McLeod to set something up that was morally acceptable to you, and Hart responded with yes. Yesterday when Hart testified, he said that he remembered other guys in the room, including McLeod, who was on the far bed with his pants on but no shirt. The lawyer then suggests that it wasn't pants that McLeod was wearing, and Hart said that that was possible. The lawyer then said, quote, your memory of him wearing pants is not an accurate memory, and Hart said, quote, right. He then said that in room 209, Drake Matherson, Sam Steele, Brett Howden, and McLeod were there, and he said that his first memory of the room was EM on the bedsheet on the floor touching herself. He said that he also has no memory of how the sheet got on the floor, or of how EM got to the sheet, or if there was being food offered or people eating it. He said that he also believed that he was the first person to have sexual contact with EM, but the Crown disagreed with that, saying there's no way that he could know that. And then he said, quote, that's the way it unfolded, I was the first one. But the Crown then said again that it's not possible for him to say he was the first one because he has a memory gap. The Crown then asked, quote, you can't say whether someone asked her or told her to touch herself, and Hart responded that he cannot say. He then said, quote, I felt like she was getting pleasure out of us kind of watching her. The Crown then said, quote, the fact that it looked like to you she was getting pleasure tells you that no one could have asked her or told her to do it before it started, and Hart responded with, quote, throughout the whole night she was the one who asked guys to do stuff with her continuously. Hart then agreed with the lawyer that he believed entering that room that EM actually wanted to engage in the acts, but that didn't have anything to do with anything she actually said or did. Hart then also agreed with the lawyer that he had no interactions with EM and didn't even know her name. He then said that his next memory that he can recall of EM is her saying, quote, someone come F me, but he has no memory of what happened between the two memories. He then testified that the men in the room were saying to each other, quote, you do it, you do it. The lawyer then asked, quote, Mr. McLeod said, you do it? And then Hart said he didn't remember who said it. The lawyer then said, quote, you know for sure that multiple guys were saying it, but you can't tell us who it was. Are you sure that's not that you don't want to tell us? And Hart said that that's not true. Hart testified that he only remembered getting oral once from EM, but others have testified that have said it's happened more than once, and EM testified that he was one of the 3 men that she performed oral on in close succession. Hart then conceded that it's possible that he got oral more than once, but he just doesn't remember it. He then also said that he couldn't get fully hard because all the guys were watching, and also possibly because of the alcohol that he drank that night.